Holy what a God. Holy what a God. Holy what a family. What a family our God has. What a life, what an existence our God chooses to be born into this world and all of the things that go with the world, including a family, having a family, being part of a family who has to deal with all sorts of stuff. And of course, we hear the story of Mary and Joseph constantly on flight, in flight on the run, running for their lives, running to protect their child. And you got to think, God chose that. God's a little crazy at times. God does crazy things in love. Love, they say, is blind. I don't know. But God doesn't. God loves all of us. And because of the choice that God makes to become part of a family, to be a child in a family, everybody around him, his parents are part of that story. They're kind of integral to it. So while we say that salvation comes from him, we know that he didn't do it alone. He lived a life, a family life. Our opening prayer calls that family a shining example. The Holy Family is a shining example for us all, a shining example for other families, held together by the bonds of charity. So that suggests that they too had to work at it. They had to make an effort in order to be the family that they were. And they did. And that's good news for all of us. Well, I just spent a couple days with my family after Christmas Day and Boxing Day. I went and spent some time with my family. We have a big dinner, and then we have a big hockey game, and it's all good. The hardest thing we have to work through at this time of year usually is who actually won the hockey game. It can be a source of all sorts of hurt feelings and conflict and anxiety and then talk throughout the entire year. But we do it because we're family. And that's a choice we make. Well, we do make choices in life. We choose to be sons and daughters. We choose to be brothers and sisters. We choose to be parents or not. And we do so really out of a feeling that we are loved by a God, a faithful God. We do it from faith. We do it for love. The gospel, of course, speaks very strongly about the parents of Jesus and their role and what they did for their son. Our first reading from the book of Sirach gives us a story which is sort of a wisdom story. And it speaks about the role of children, but really more so to the adult children. And suggesting that if we are good to our parents, if we by choice be good children, we're going to have good children. What it means is if we show our children what it means to be sons and daughters, hopefully they'll learn from our good example. They'll learn from us what it means to be good, loving, to be a child, a good child. And that's what it's all about. But it is a work in progress. Of course, we have to work at things. In the second reading, the reading from letter from Paul to the Colossians, St. Paul suggests that all of us could put on Jesus Christ. That means each and every one of us, whether we are a son, daughter, brother, sister, mother, or father, no matter what we are, we can put on Jesus Christ and all the virtues that go with that. That is humility, meekness, patience, kindness. The most important one of all, of course, is forgiveness. How do we deal with conflict? How do we work through things? Forgiveness is the ultimate challenge of the Christian. It's almost divine, we could say. It's the invitation that really does allow family life, allow everything in this world to work. And of course, we're very aware of the fact that we speak of the Holy Family and Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and that's great that Jesus had a community around him, that we're all part of that now. We're adopted children into that family of Jesus. And we as people of faith, just like Mary and Joseph did, have a role to play. Have a role to play in salvation history. Well, Mary and Joseph really are exceptional. It's not like they do things that nobody else has ever done before. My sister and I were having a bit of an argument, speaking of things to work through. We were talking about the Holy Family, and she was going on about Mary and how wonderful Mary is. And Mary's wonderful, I agree. But she was saying that, isn't it amazing Mary gave birth without a midwife? No doctors, no nurses, all of that. And I said, do you know what that meant for Joseph? What Joseph had to do? I mean, talk about a renewal of fatherhood. That's out of this world. It's amazing. It's good, the things we do for love. Joseph in the gospel today, he has 3 dreams, and each time he's informed about what he should do to save his family, particularly his child. Take your woman and child and flee. Go to Egypt. He goes to Egypt. He has another dream. Go back. You really want to be in the land of Israel. That's your home. That's Jesus' ultimate destination. Go there. And he has another dream. He says, no, don't go there. Go to Nazareth. Jesus spends his whole life outside of where he is called to be. He's like this perpetual refugee. At the beginning of his life, he's on the move. At the end of his life, he's on the move. The most important days of his life, he's itinerant. He's moving somewhere. He's called. As people of faith, so are we. And we have an example in a family who works together. Jesus wouldn't have made it to his first birthday without his parents. The gospel doesn't reach, doesn't sink in, doesn't affect our world without our help. We're all part of it, and that family has a purpose. Jesus and his family are the means and the method to salvation. And we're part of that family now. We're part of that family, and thus we are called outside of ourselves into love and into service. And we do so because that bold and daring, that crazy, foolish God of ours has come into this world, has loved us to the end. That bold and crazy God of ours has chosen us, as St. Paul says. That bold and crazy God of ours has chosen to be born into a family, to live and die for our salvation. And for that reason, we celebrate today. We continue to have a merry